Alright, so welcome back to this beginner's course in Autodesk Maya. This is the third part, so if you guys missed the first two, make sure you go and watch those before you watch this one. In the last video, we covered components, extruding, and duplicating. So before we get into this one, let's just go over those things and make sure that you've got that all down and memorized so that we can get into these next couple of cool things that you're going to want to know so that you can start making your own models in Autodesk Maya. And then after this video, you're going to know pretty much the basic fundamental tools that you need to know in order to model. And so I highly recommend after you watch this video that you go ahead and you try out for yourself to make something unique, and then go to my Facebook page. I'll put a annotation on the screen for how you can find that, and then go ahead and post images of what you've created so that you can share them with me and anyone else that's on the page. There's no one on the page right now because it's brand new. I just made it. So go ahead, check that out, show me what you're making, and let's get into the video. Okay, so in the last video we covered components. So remember to do this, quick correction, I said in the last video you need to be hovering over your object in order to find the component menu. That's actually not true. What you need to do is make sure your object is selected, and then you can right click and hold anywhere on the screen as long as your object's selected, and that'll come up with this little quick menu here. And that's how you access the different components. So you can go to face, vertex, and edge. So let's just remind ourselves, these are faces, these are vertexes, these points here, and then these are edges. Okay, and you can move all these using W. Remember, that's how we move. Okay, and Control Z is to undo things. We also covered that in the last video. Okay, and then to get back to object mode, we right click again and go to object mode, and now we can move the entire object as a whole. Alright, and then we also covered extruding. So remember, to do this, we're gonna go into face mode on the component thing and click on a face, and then Control E, and then pull this out, and then there you go. This is an extrusion. We have some extra geometry now on this object that we can work with. So that's extruding. And the last thing we covered was duplicating. So to do that, you select your object and hit Control D on the keyboard, and now we have two cubes, and we can do Shift D, and that will copy that duplication, and it will put the same amount of spacing between each of those. So if you want to create like a row of cubes, then you can do that really quickly with Shift D. Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about edge loops, bevels, and subdivisions. And these are really important. You're going to use these all the time when you're modeling, so make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. And alright, let's get into it. So to create an edge loop, we're going to hold Shift and right click with your object selected. Shift, right click, and now you're going to get a different menu from before, and right here you're going to see Insert Edge Tool. So click that, and then nothing happens. What you're gonna do is click somewhere on your object like this, and now you see there's this loop of edges going around the entire cube. So this is really useful because it allows us to get more control over the shape of this cube. See, before, if I wanted to do something like this, get like this kind of hourglass shape, I couldn't do that before because there were no edges around the center of the cube, so I couldn't scale it like that. It would just do this. So to do that, you're going to put in an edge loop right there. See, now I can do that. Alright, so what if I want this to be a little softer of a scale there? Well, to do that, we're going to use a bevel. So go right over here, look at these tabs here on the side, and you're going to see Modeling Toolkit. You're going to click on that tab, and we're going to get this Modeling Toolkit tab. This is really cool because you're going to want to check out all these different modeling tools that they have in here. These are all things you're going to use constantly when you're modeling. So play around with these and see what they do, but we're going to focus just on Bevel. So double click here on this loop of edges. That'll select all of them all the way around. That's another handy thing about edge loops, is that you can select them just by double clicking on them like this. And then hit bevel, and now you're going to see there's 2 edge loops instead of just 1. And this little, we can hold down the middle mouse button and move back and forth, and this is going to control how that bevel is happening, like this. And then this little menu here, we can control some other things. If we push, okay, so that's the fraction. That's also what we were doing with the middle mouse button. And here with segments, if you click and drag on this, you'll get more edge loops. See that? And then we can go back up to fraction, and there we go. Now we have a very smooth scale to our cube. So it's this sort of hourglass shape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this cube and make a new one, because now I'm going to show you the final thing we're going to cover in this video today is subdivisions. So you're going to find that again right here on this Modeling Toolkit tab. Click on that and then come right down here to Add Divisions. Click that once, and now you're going to see that we have a cube that has been subdivided. So now on each face there's 4 faces instead of just 1. And again, this is just a really quick way to get more geometry on your object so that you can more finely control how this object, how its geometry is looking, so that you can do things like this. So, okay, that's all we're going to cover for today. I want you to play around with this, play around with all these other tools here. We're going to cover them in the tutorials, but if you want, go ahead and play around with these, see what you can do with them. And most of all, focus on the edge loops, bevels, and subdivisions, because they're really, really important. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.